How you doing, everybody? Nick DiVirgilio here, and today's video is about these Pearl Session Studio Select drums. Pearl Session Studio line of drums have been around for a good 20 years now, but they've stepped up their game and raised the bar a little bit and brought us now their Session Studio Select line of drums. Lots of killer features and upgrades that you'd normally pay for on a much more expensive drum kit. So let's get into all of the details on this particular kit right now. The magic of the Session Studio Select drum kit is this drum shell. It's a combination hybrid shell of birch and African mahogany. So you get great snap from the birch and warmth out of the African mahogany. So the shells are 5.4 millimeters thick, 6 even plies. The 4 inner plies are the birch, and those are sandwiched on the inside and outside by the African mahogany. What's cool about that is the African mahogany brings that warmth from the inside of the drum, but also looks amazing on the outside of the drum with this really beautiful high gloss lacquer. And we'll get into the finish in just a minute. For now, on this particular setup, I have a 7x10 and an 8x12 inch rack toms right here, 14x14 and 16x16 inch floor toms, a 16x22 inch kick drum, and I have a matching snare that's 5.5x14. This is a shell pack, so you know I've said it many times, shell packs don't come with snare drums, but they do make matching ones if you so choose. For now, I'm going to turn the snare wires off, and let's get into the sound of these tom-toms. Definitely warm and punchy. They come outfitted with Remo pinstripe head, so that's a double ply, thick head that's going to give you kind of a thuddier tone. If you want a little bit more snap out of these drums, put on a single ply head. But the pinstripes do really well with this kit. I like the way they sound. Let's put the snare wires on, do the same thing. What's cool is the real musical tone between each drums. Nice tone interval from high to low, and I have them tuned sort of low and thuddy at the moment. You could crank these toms up really high and play a much different style of music. If you're playing more of a jazz gig or more of a straight ahead gig, these drums work great for that, but I have them tuned low, better for a little bit more of that funk and rock sound. Before I get into the kick drum, I want to mention one thing about the edges on this particular kit. They borrowed something from their Masterworks series of drums, which is their super duper high-end series of drums, and that is the 60-degree bearing edges on all the drums. What's great about that is you get really great head contact, and it's really nice for resonance. So you get that with all of the drums here, and it's a really cool feature that comes on this Session Studio Select drum kit. With that being said, now let's get into this kick drum, 16x22, and again, starting with the snare wires off. It's big and snappy from my vantage point. It definitely projects out forward. It comes with a sort of power stroke Remo head on the batter side, and you see there's a hole on the resonant side where the Pearl logo is. I'm using their Eliminator kick drum pedal here, and I have the felt beater going, so you know what's going on here. You could put the plastic beater and get even more snap out of the drum if you want. That said, let's put the snare wires on and play this kick drum again. Another nice feature about this kick drum and the way it plays is the dynamics. It really goes soft and very loud, depending on how you hit it, of course, but the shell is speaking in a way to where you can really have dynamics in the way you play your kick drum, from very soft to very loud. All right, now let me play the snare drum a little bit for you, again in the same Session Studio Select line of drums. Very snappy sounding snare drum. Feels great in the hands, and again, it gets very sensitive as well. First, I'm going to start with the snare wires off. Killer musical tone. Again, I have this tuned really high right now, but it feels so good in the hands. I'm going to turn the snare wires on and play it again for you. The way the snare drum's tuned right now would be killer for funk, pop, like ska music, fast sort of punky music, really great sound for that. You could put on a drier head, tune the snare drum down, of course, and get many, many different tones. Let's play all of the drums together, and then we'll get the details of the hardware and the finish and all of those things in just 1 second. So much fun and very inspiring to play these drums. Now let's get to the details of all the hardware and the finish. Let's first talk about the suspension system on the rack toms, the Optimount suspension system. It's really nice, very easy to use, connects in 2 spots on the top and bottom of the drum. There's rubber grommets right here in the tuning rod. You can also raise it up a little bit with these lug nuts right here on either side. So if you want to kind of get it a little bit higher or lower in that plane, you can, but again, it's really easy to use and gives great resonance to the drum. It's very easy to change heads and all of those kinds of things. On all of the drums, you get 2.3 millimeter SuperHoop IIs. Great counter hoops that add to the sustain of the drum, add to the resonance, give you great rim shots when you're playing rim shots on your toms and your snare. Feel really good under the hands. The lugs on this kit are beautiful looking, great sleek style. The claw hooks on the front of the hoops are recessed. The tension rod is recessed in and rubber lined, so they're going to keep that beautiful hoop scratch-free for as long as you take care of it. Really nice. One great thing about Pearl drums, you know, if you've seen any of my videos, I talk about kick drum spurs quite a bit. I make a big deal about kick drum spurs on all of the different brands we carry here at Sweetwater. And every company makes great kick drum spurs. Pearl has a great take on their spurs, and they've had them around for a really long time because really, if it's not broke, don't fix it, that kind of thing. These spurs are sturdy as heck. The kick drums never move. They're very easy to use to get the pokey end of the spur out. It's very simple. Just a really nice drum spur for your kick drum, and I recommend those on any drum. Wanted to quickly show you some great features on the snare drum as well. Very easy to use strainer and throw off. Ratchet style, back and forth like that. You adjust the snare wire tension right here. It also comes with the SuperHoop IIs. You get a really nice side stick sound, great for rim shots and great for resonance. I've taken off the head of one of the rack toms so I can show you the inside of the drum and how beautiful it is, and also show you these perfect 60-degree bearing edges. So let's take a spin right now. Gorgeous on the inside. You can really see the warmth of that mahogany on the inside of the drum, and this is where the warmth between this and the outside veneer of the African mahogany, you really get a nice warm but cracky sounding drum with that birch on the inside. Let's quickly talk about the finish on this kit. This is called the Antique Crimson Burst. It really looks beautiful with that African mahogany wood grain underneath this high gloss lacquer, and it's gorgeous, kind of lush red color. Fantastic looking finish on this particular kit. There are other colors. There's even beautiful wraps you can get in the Session Studio Select line of drums. So talk to your Sweetwater sales engineer and they'll get you through all of the different color variations you can get on this kit. But this Antique crimson looks fantastic. I want to quickly mention, like I do in all my videos, to make sure you check out the text below the video. You'll have links to all of the gear that I'm using here. I've been having fun with videos lately, using all kinds of different lines of cymbals. So I have some Meinl and Paiste and Zildjian and even Sabian over here. So check out all of that stuff. I'll have links to all of the gear, the microphones, the recording gear, everything I'm using. In case you're interested, you can go directly to the product pages of those particular products. There you have it, everybody. Pearl's Session Studio Select line of drums. If you're looking for an upgrade in a drum kit, looking for something that's roadworthy, great in the studio, will work in all kinds of styles of music and situations, I highly encourage you to check out this particular Pearl drum kit. And if you want any more information about this kit or any other Pearl product, just contact your Sweetwater sales engineer, and thanks a lot for watching.